Hey guys, I am back here with my next video. I figured that before I got into like any specific topics or themes, I would just sort of give you guys some information about my current battle with social anxiety, as well as some of my other issues. How I'm dealing with it. Um, how is it affecting me in my life, things like that. Just to get a little bit more information on me. And I also want to apologize in advance if there's a little bit of background, like noise or static, in the video. Obviously, this webcam is a piece of crap, so quality isn't that great, and I'm not an experienced vlogger in any sense, but um, it's something that I will work on and hopefully get better as time goes on. And I will buy a new webcam, because this thing really is terrible. Anyway, social anxiety. I think for me, the worst thing about social anxiety is that, um, and again, this may be more geared towards me, but my form of anxiety, there's really no place for me to ever feel comfortable. Not at home, not at school, not at work, not with my friends, not anything like that. And it's not just social anxiety, it's also things like brain fog and sleep apnea, things like that. For those of you who don't know what brain fog is, some of you may be experiencing it, some of you and know what it is, some of you may be experiencing it and don't know what it is, but brain fog is sort of just like overall general fatigue. You can't think, you can't concentrate, lack of focus, you may be struggling to do well in school, you might have some memory issues, and it's just really, bottom line is, it's just hard to think overall. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter in what situation, that type of thing. And for me, when you combine that with the social anxiety, it really makes things difficult. In that, even in the moments where I may not be anxious, even in the moments where I'm like, hey, you know what, I don't have that anxiety, I have the brain fog and I can't think, and just everything's a struggle. But let me just talk about social anxiety first. I still have a couple of close friends that I keep in like semi-regular contact with, like via texting, or I don't really go on Facebook anymore that much. But, we'll text or occasionally see each other once in a while. But a lot of my friends I've sort of lost contact with, things like that. There's been a lot of times in the past. I just said I wouldn't reference the past, but I am. Where I would go through these phases where I tried seeing my friends and I went out with them and I made the effort to sort of like, I'm going to overcome this social anxiety and I'm going to do my best to get out of it, and it didn't work. And that's the thing about social anxiety. People say just try, or if you just try, everything's going to be fine. And it doesn't work like that. Maybe for some people it does, and obviously you need to try. You can't just sit in your house all day and say like, well, I'm going to overcome this by sitting here and thinking. Thinking never really overcame anything. You got to do something. But it didn't work for me. And the more I hung out with my friends, the more my issues sort of came to the forefront, and the more frustrated I got. And there's sort of been like this cyclical pattern where there were times where I saw my friends, we hung out, and then I would go months without seeing really anybody, maybe seeing them once or twice or something like that, just to stay in contact with it. And it's frustrating because I've had some good experiences in the past, and I do love them to death. But again, it's just the social anxiety that just really, I think that may be the worst thing of all, is that even the people that you care about, the people that you love, you may have some great friends, and you can't even really either be yourself around them, you can't even enjoy yourself like you should be able to. I mean, that's an important thing in life, to have those types of relationships. It's not all about like having a ton of friends or acquaintances or something like that. It's just having those one or two or three really close friends that you can have that connection with. And unfortunately, social anxiety can sort of inhibit that development. So, it's been frustrating for me. I haven't really seen my friends that much. How it has affected me. Again, even with my close friends, they always just, sometimes And I would know like certain days when things are going to be really bad. You would just feel it. And again, that may be sort of like the brain fog issue, where it's just some days you know things you're going to be in for a very difficult fight. But there would just be some days I knew I was out of it. I would like fumble over my words. I would say awkward things. I just I wouldn't feel like myself at all. I really feel like there would be like a glass wall between me and the rest of the world. And it was just incredibly frustrating to have to go through that experience time and time again. And that's the thing. It is a majority of the time you experience that. It's not just once in a while. You say, okay, it's not a big deal. When you're experiencing that every time, there's no amount of positive thinking or life coaching that's going to really help you overcome that. I mean, honestly, I could probably put it at a percentage, maybe like 5% of the time I actually felt things went okay. That's 1 in 20. And things, I felt good, had a good time. All the rest of the experiences are bad. But again, it's not just with my friends, it's day-to-day life. Like, going to the gym, just, talking to some of the people I know there just from having gone there. Just making awkward conversation, not really knowing what to say. I hate the telephone. I despise the telephone. If I could de-invent the telephone, I would do it. Because I hate it. Every time I'm on a conversation, it doesn't matter who it's with. It could be my therapist. It could be a professor. It could be with a family member, a cousin, uncle, aunt. It's just every conversation is awkward. Every conversation is difficult. Either I don't know what to say to silence, or again, fumbling the words, not knowing what to say. You just feel like complete crap. Time and time again, to the point where like the phone rings, I don't want to answer. My instinct is to not answer the phone. The cell phone rings, I do not want to answer. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes I force myself to. I don't even like calling people for their birthdays, and that sounds really bad. I mean like extended family, like some of my cousins who I know well but not that well. My aunt, my uncle. I'll admit I haven't called them in the past sometimes because it's just, I know I'm going to embarrass myself on the phone. To somebody I know. It's not even like complete strangers or someone really important. You're like, oh, I'm so nervous. It's just regular family members and you're still struggling to speak with them. So that's incredibly frustrating. I hate the phone. Things like that. I'm trying to think what else I've not covered. But again, just going out, even just knowing sometimes that like I'm different from everybody else, that I struggle with this. It's just frustrating. Like I feel inferior to everybody else. I really don't have the thoughts like some of you may have, that like I'm ugly or I suck at everything. I know there are some things I do well, some things I don't do well, but at the same time, it's like, I can't hold a conversation. I can't function on a day-to-day basis. Work. I haven't even got to work. Work is the worst thing, and probably the most difficult challenge that I've had to deal with is work. I used to work at a CVS as a photo technician. I started last. Was it last? I'm losing my sense of time. No, actually, it was longer than I thought. Like 2 Junes ago, and I worked there until about the following September. So like a year and a quarter. And again, like photo technician job, really not that difficult. You talk to customers, you do the cashier, you, when the photo machine breaks down, you fix it. That's really it. And it was just like every day I go to work, dreading it, because every day I was struggling to deal with customers. I was fumbling my words, couldn't help them out, and like do the most basic of things. I'd get just so frustrated because it was like every day was a grind. I would, whenever something happened and my boss had to like come over and like, something simple that I normally know how to do, I couldn't do it, and I got so nervous. I would like get hot and sweaty, and one of the bad things about, I guess, my anxiety is that sometimes I have what I call it a heat flash. It's not at all a heat flash like old people get in bed. Nothing like that. I think the real term for it is vasodilation, where it's almost like you have an allergic reaction. What happens for me is that like my entire neck will get like red blotches all over it. My entire forehead will turn bright red. My chest will get red blotches all over. Not like hives, just like red patches all across my body. And again, my forehead gets bright red, and you can tell that it's happening. And again, just a little bit of anxiety can set that off. And once it starts, it's like a runaway train. It keeps going. You can't stop it. And people notice that. So it's like a chain reaction. Something happens, like I'm ringing up a customer. I don't know, something goes wrong. I can't figure out what to do. A manager comes over. He's trying to fix it. And he's like, "Oh, do this." And I'm like, normally I can do it, but I'm like, so much anxiety that I don't know what to do. And then all of a sudden I get the little vasodilation or whatever, and then I'm like sweaty and red, and it's just really embarrassing. And that's why, like, even 4-hour shifts, I hated going to work. I dreaded it. I've said this before, like my therapist. If on the rare times that I actually felt okay, that I was like, work was a breeze for me, you could leave me there for like 50 hours straight. No sleep, no food, nothing. I'd probably enjoy that more than those 4-hour shifts where I was struggling to do it. So, work has always been a challenge. I'm not working right now, and that's part of my fear, is going back there and just like that mental battle every day where it's like you're inferior, you can't do anything. And again, part of that is the brain fog. It's not just the social anxiety. Even here in my own house, just doing things sometimes, like, again, it's not in a social setting, but I just struggle to do things. And again, this video is not going to be long enough for me to go into everything, the apnea, the fog, and again, that would take like half an hour. So I'm just going to sort of leave things really just on the social anxiety type of things. But yeah, that's basically it. Just the fact that it's like no matter where you go, no matter what you do, even if you try to overcome it, you can't. It's really disheartening, when that happens time and time again. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate out there. Again, strangers, friends, work, play, up, down, blue, green. Okay, blue and green are not opposites, but they mix, they make yellow, right? Blue and yellow make green. Okay. But yeah, so it's that's my battle with social anxiety, and it's really just one of my several issues that, look, if I even felt like I just only have social anxiety, I'd be like, okay, maybe I can, like, I'm not saying that it's not, bad or it's not difficult to overcome. It's horrible, it's terrible, and it's frustrating, but at least I feel like, okay, like, this is the one thing I focus on. For me, there's other issues that, like, they all sort of, like, morph together into, like a transformer. They just all, like, pieces come together, and just, like, giant robot, and it, like, destroys you, kicks your ass. So, and I'm smiling. I shouldn't be smiling right now. Anyway, so that's just a little bit of how social anxiety affects me. Something I've decided to do, at least for the time being, at the end of my videos, is I figured I would end my videos with one of three things. One is either sort of like a random fact about me, interesting fact, funny fact, whatever. I might also, like, pose a question for you guys. Just general questions, nothing like, you don't even have to answer it, but things like that, just to sort of interact with you guys. And the third thing I'm forgetting right now, so we're just going to say it's two things for now. I'll remember the third thing mentioned in the next video. So, to end this video, random fact about me number uno. I sleep with the fan on at night. And I can only sleep with the fan on at night. If there is no fan, I will not sleep. It's that simple. I need a fan no matter where I go. It doesn't matter if I'm at a friend's house, I need noise. Otherwise, I cannot sleep. I guess I've just gotten used to it, but it's like I am dependent on the fan so much that, like, I have my little fan that I've had, like, for like 3 or 4 years, maybe longer. I take it everywhere. It doesn't matter where I'm going. I went to a friend's house, but, like, what the hell is that? I'm like, my fan. You got a problem? It's embarrassing, but, like, I need it to sleep. Otherwise, I will not sleep a wink. Any little noise I focus on, so I need that fan to sleep. It is like my little... my fan is my best friend right now. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be making more soon. Catch you guys later.